Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our chamber check ins from your only 5-star accredited chamber in the state of Idaho. And today I have the honor of sharing the Key Bank story with newly appointed Idaho's market president, Scott Schlang. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Paul. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for taking some time with me today. Scott, when I started with the chamber in 2014, I had the opportunity to work with Key Bank, and the relationship that I've had with you and the team over the years has been unparalleled, Scott. The community partnership, the mindset of the leadership at Key Bank has been one of the best that I've been able to work with. So thank you for that.
That's great to hear. Thank you for saying so.
Um, Today's episode is an opportunity to learn a little bit about you, kind of announce again the congratulations on your new appointment with Key, Scott. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really honored. I feel lucky. So thanks for having me on here.
So Key Bank has been a member, Scott, since 1969.
Wow.
Yeah, so older than me. and Key's been, again, a cornerstone member of the chamber and this community. And so I want you to kind of give us the origin story of Key Bank, kind of a national and global footprint as well as locally. But first, I just want to introduce you. So Scott, you're an experienced commercial banking leader with a history of developing markets and talent in the finance industry. Your many skill sets include commercial lending, banking, credit analysis, sales, and sales management, with a strong finance background from Pacific Coast Banking School, along with your 20 plus years in the industry. So again, congratulations on your new job as Idaho Market President, Scott.
Yeah, I wish I had you around more often to just like herald me into something that sounded great. It sounds better than I feel. That's awesome.
So tell us the origin story of Key Bank.
Yeah, so Key Bank's been around since 1825. I think a lot of people would be somewhat surprised to hear that that's true. We're in 15 states, 40,000 branches. 40,000 ATMs, 1,000 full service branches. We're about 190 billion in assets, and as of last year, about 1.9 billion in revenue. And collectively, we have about 18,000 full-time equivalent employees in Key Bank. So we're in the top 20 for banks across the United States.
Wow. How many of those banks are here in the state of Idaho?
How many of the top 20 or how many branches are here?
Yeah, how many branches to serve here to Idahoans?
Yeah, we have 21 locations between eastern and western Idaho. We do not have branches in northern Idaho, but that is a goal of mine. So hopefully there's a day where that happens again.
And you've got, what, 5 to 7 branches here in the Treasure Valley, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. Well, we all know Key Bank. We know the logo. Again, the banks are here to serve and the full service bank, right? The whole portfolio. And I had
we offer services from consumers to business banking, which is small business and larger, to the middle market commercial space, which I sit in most cases, to institutional, to investment banking, M&A and the like. And then on the consumer side, we offer private banking, plus obviously our checking accounts, checking education, et cetera.
Okay. So Scott, I love learning about the people as well. Tell us about a little bit of your history of work that led you into the finance career.
Yeah. Well, I meet very few bankers who intended to be bankers. There are some, but not many. I started my path in education and thought that I would be a teacher and did that for a short period of my life. I had some events that occurred to me while I was doing a master's program and had to step away from school and work for a pretty significant amount of time. And when that period came to an end, I didn't think that education was going to be able to immediately pay back my medical bills. So I had a part-time job at a bank being a teller and some other things at that time, and had an opportunity to go in leadership there, and said, I'm going to give this a shot, give that a little bit of years, and then maybe go back into education as a field. And I went and did that. I was a leader for a bank and became a branch manager and went through that pathway. And I found myself really naturally gravitating towards business and finding through working with businesses really the same input that I was looking for at a teaching, which is a social impact, this impact of being able to have a scope beyond just what you're doing day to day. So with the students, of course, you provide them learning, they take that for the rest of their lives and they impact the world. Similarly, I think when as a bank, you're a good partner to a business, you have this opportunity through a lot of different mediums, but if in nothing else in lending, just to make it really simple, where you're extending capital to somebody for their growth. And I really started to enjoy this idea that I had a seat at the table with these entrepreneurs, these risk takers, people who put it all on the line, that I had an ability to help them. And then as I did, and as they expanded their business, I could see that same social impact that I would with a student, but sooner, right? With the students, you don't see that impact. And I was in early education, so kindergarten, that was a 15-year ROI on that, right? With the business, you get to drive by and see people in the building and you go, wow, I had a play in that. I had a part to do. So I then went from that into specifically business for about 13 years, 14, 15 years, somewhere around there. And then found myself here in Idaho to lead the commercial bank here for KeyBank, where I've been doing that the last, almost 6 years now.
Wow, what a great story. I remember when you moved here and you started your career in Idaho with Key. Boy, the mindset that you have and the mission and vision that KeyBank have really aligns well, Scott. I think that's awesome. We talked a little bit about your full service bank and some of the product lines to remind us all about the breadth of services provided. I would love for you to just spend a couple minutes talking about what KeyBank does here locally for its partners, and then maybe talk a little bit about your staff and who do you have that's making a big impact here in our community as well.
So I'll start talking about, I think, our two area retail leaders who lead our retail channel, our consumer channel. That's Juan Sanchez and Sonia Hawley. Sonia's been on the east side of the state for over 40 years, has been in a leadership capacity for almost that long. Hopefully she doesn't mind me saying how long it's been, but she's been an absolute rock of that community. And she's done an absolute wonderful job fostering talent there, retaining people. As a practice in my role as a market president, I like to call people on their anniversaries, and I usually ask them 4 questions. How did KeyBank find you? What's something that you're learning currently? What's in your future? And then how can I help you? And that gives me this opportunity to get to know everybody's backstories a little bit and how long they've been with the company. And what I am often surprised and happy to find is that on the east side of the state, we have employees that have been here for 30 and 40 years regularly.
Wow.
And I think that's a testament to her leadership. It's a testament to the company. So I'm very proud of Sonia and the work that they've done. And she's been a top producer for the company year over year over year over year. So she's phenomenal. And then we have Juan Sanchez. He started about, I guess it's been 7 or 8 years ago. And he's really transformed our branch network out here and really grown us and taken us to the next level here for Idaho. He's a great leader. He's involved in the community. He's in the Junior Achievement Board. I think he is on the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And then I think he just recently got positioned into, the name is going to escape me. It's through the Janus group, but I just can't remember which specific organization there. So very active in the community, active in his church, very good man, great leader, full of energy. So we're kind of buttressed by those 2 leaders here for the state. And again, we have 21 locations in Idaho. And then we have also Val Goebel. She's a senior leader here. She manages a few different states in our mortgage group. That is a area of our business that we've put a lot of effort and time into over the last 5 or 6 years. We've had really significant growth in that category for Key. Now, obviously, that might make you think, well, what about now? Certainly now, market's slowed a little bit. We're a lot more focused on purchase transactions than some of the refis that were possible, but she's been doing a great job with that. And then we have in the private bank, we have Rebecca Watkins, who's here with us. Yep. We have Aaron Williamson, who is here, and David Orm. They wrap out our relationship managers. And then leading them, we have Ram Halte, who leads not just Idaho, but also Utah, which gives us just a really nice synergistic ability to use a lot of resources and expand kind of the offerings that we have as a result of having two teams together. On the business banking side, we have Anthony Vituli and Michael Carver. I know that you know them because one of them is a great golfer. I won't say who. We'll just say one of them at least is a great golfer, as is Paul, I think. And they lead up our business banking group here for the state. And Linda Fenner, who also is a 40-year employee of Key in the business group, started with Valley Bank many, many, many years ago that we acquired. I think we acquired Valley, I'm looking here in my notes, 1992. So she's been a longtime member of Key Bank out there, and she's an absolute pillar of that community, has done a great job. And then their leader is named Ryan Shaw. He also manages Boise and also Idaho. Again, we get kind of a synergistic effort between these two different states to be able to go to market. And we're looking to grow for that matter. Yeah. That rounds out, I think, our top leadership. I have a lot of branch managers. I could not go by name, but we have some of the best, I think, in the business. Very engaged, people who are very concerned about the community. They're active in the community. We have some internal groups that are also kind of community-centric that they're a part of. So we're really fortunate. I think we have a really good go-to-market strategy here for Idaho.
I love it. And people will recognize what Key Bank's done in this community for the arts, as well as the startup community. Help me share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we were one of the founding parties, I think, of Trailhead many years ago. We've taken an active role in that. And I think, as you're certainly aware, maybe the community broadly is, that's an incubator for our startup community to get resources. It's led by TM, who's just an incredible leader. There's a lot of support around that, but we've been fortunate to be a part of them for quite some time. And we participated in a program called You Lead Idaho there, where we're specifically trying to target our rural community to provide investments and resources for them to be startup entrepreneurs also. When we look at our rural communities, and I should point out, despite the fact that I came from out of state, I grew up on a dairy. And so, pretty close to my heart is the rural communities and what that looks like. When I think about a rural community, I think of somebody who is an entrepreneur. I don't think we always think of somebody in that light, but it's no more true than there. So in providing them some resources, getting them to view the world through an investment bank perspective of how you might raise funds, how you might be able to take an idea and make it bigger than the market that you're in, and with the viewpoint of a rural community, maybe an urban market isn't thinking about resources and solves for those communities. They have those visions. So TM and his team has done an incredible job with that. We've been very proud. I've been able to be a judge on many of the pitch contests that they do. And they've also gone from just our pitch contests into the broader context of the pitches that we do through the community and been able to win. So we've been really, really thankful. Debbie Trio is our corporate community officer, and she's been a big proponent of that program. In fact, she'll be here soon, and we'll be meeting with them. So that's Trailhead, as you mentioned. That's part of the startup community. I serve as a trustee or board member, I'm not sure which one I am actually, for Idaho Technology Council, which is an additional source, kind of layers above Trailhead, to help communities and businesses get to their A rounds and beyond. They've been a part of a lot of great stories in town, but great organization, but both that are targeting that field in our community. As you know, that's a very important growth metric for Idaho. We've had some huge successes as of even late with Micron, with the continued investment in this community in the $1 billion range. So very important as we continue to grow in Idaho that those resources come from Key Bank and others. And we're not the only in this community that does it.
Right. And then I just got to have you share a little bit about the arts community and how KeyBank's impacted that.
Sure. As you're aware, we've been a long time member and chief, corporate sponsor for Shakespeare Festival. That is something that obviously I have been able to inherit coming into my role, but it was one of the highlights of the role that I got to be a part of this. So Shakespeare is a treasure in this community. I think they are something that kind of puts us on the map. And KeyBank, as a longtime sponsor of Shakespeare, has really become associated with Shakespeare, which is an association that is just wonderful for us. When I am in my various capacities in the community and I'm talking to somebody, it's not uncommon for me to hear KeyBank, which is the practice we do at Shakespeare Festival, right? It always makes me blush a little bit, but we're really thankful for that. And we love Shakespeare. We can't wait to see this season as it opens up here soon.
Wow. Scott, thanks for supporting the arts. Thanks to KeyBank for supporting the entrepreneur community, as well as organizations like the Chamber. Sure. You actually sit on our board of advisors, and the Economic Development Partnership, as well as our friendship and relationship with other different nonprofits that we're a part of as well.
Sure. Well, let me give you a shout out on that, Paul. I know you don't put this in your script, but I have to tell you, moving here from being in a different state and seeing different chambers for different communities I was in, and I think this is a sentiment that I hear commonly, that our Chamber of Commerce that you sit on, that Bill leads, is really world-class and unique. I don't know that there are very many communities that have fostered such synergistic efforts and leadership in the way that we have, the way that you guys do, as a resource and also as just a herald for us in the community, as cheerleaders, as networkers, really. So we're really grateful for what you guys do for us.
Thanks, Scott, for that shout out. We appreciate it. I have your website scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and in parentheses, there's a Banking 101 tab that I saw on the key.com website. And for a guy like me who's not in the finance industry, there's some really great learning tools that are in that Banking 101 tab for any business that's looking at learning more about what KeyBank does, and maybe your own banker does that. But I think it's a really cool tool that you have on the website.
Yeah. The way that we look at this is we look at our branches. Sometimes they're called retail stores, kind of depends on who's describing it, but we look at them as wellness centers. And I think we're trying to incorporate this idea that when you go into a bank, this is about a health check for your finances. And this tab that we have there provides deep education, or at least topical at minimum, of how to start to understand your finances, how to understand different financial vehicles that you can use. I think there's a lot of complexity in financial products, which is unfortunate. And I'm not sure that our education system really focuses on financial education the way that they should. As a former educator, I think that's one of the most important things that we can do for people, is provide them information to make their own choices and make them informed. I use that tab myself sometimes in talking to my kids. I find that it's a lot more succinct than I can be. They have great graphics. It's just a great resource, whether you're our customer or not our customer. But I would say anybody who's listening to this who provides education, it's a great tab for you to reference, print the materials, and use them for your own benefit. And on that note, our branches offer financial wellness reviews. It's the same idea. Think about it as like a health check for your finances and your vision. We help align people with their financial goals through our branches, and we'd love to have you come and see us.
Cool. Awesome. Scott, I want to thank you for your time today, for helping share the KeyBank story.
Sure.
Congratulations on your new appointment there as Idaho Market President. Is there anything else that I missed while we have you today that you'd like to educate listeners on?
We have some great customers in this community, very long-term, long-time supporting customers. We're really thankful for you. Thank you for the loyalty that you've given us, but we're also looking to grow. And if you're looking for a bank, we want to start a relationship with you. Feel free to reach out to me or any of my branches.
Awesome, Scott. Hey, I look forward to seeing you this weekend at the Big Sky Tournament.
And me too. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Say hi to the fam for me. Have a
I
great
will.
weekend.